Well, very talented team. Texas with very fertile recruiting grounds. I've been in that stadium and conference with them, and they're very talented. So every year they're in the West.
What are your thoughts on making that eventually possibly becoming a Thanksgiving or end of the season affair?
Well, I think the number of rivalries certainly need to be considered. How many spots can you have rivalry games? We have in Arkansas, and we play a lot of teams in that Western Division that we call themselves rivals. So, again, I do recognize the great traditions that the two institutions have shared, and look forward to playing them.
Last Steve Spurrier on the board, given 200 collegiate wins. Can you talk about what a big number that is, the impact of this career?
That is a big number. Very congratulations to the ball coach. How wonderful that is. Let you know he's been at it a number of years. Let you know he's done it right. He's sustained a very high level of competition for a long time.
Is he a guy you kept track of before you were in the area?
Yeah, I can remember that when I first got in the league here, that my wife and kids needed to be the old coach. You know what I mean? It was fun. Yeah, I followed Coach Spurrier because one, he seemed to have an entertaining way of communicating, and we played with coach for some very, very fine football games.
Les, to do what you did a year ago in the regular season and to beat the caliber teams you beat and to go unbeaten, maybe the average person doesn't understand just how difficult that is in any league at any time, and go undefeated the way you did. How difficult a challenge is that?
Well, the good thing about our team and our program is we play real quality teams. We're not surprised by the caliber of teams we play. And there's a real want to it. And as long as they continue that course, I kind of felt like after 13, there was a deep sigh, if you will. And I think it's long as they take one at a time. As long as there's that want to fight, I think there's an opportunity at that. I do give great accomplishment to that team. They carried the #1 tag for 11 straight weeks. They won the Western Division. They won the conference. Had the best record in college and played the national championship game. Accomplished quite a lot. So. And the good news is, I guess, is we didn't get it all. And there's probably created a little bit more hunger than coming off of a year where, I guess the question kind of takes me by surprise because we didn't quite get it all.
Coach, last year opening the door, we talked a lot about, and your players talked a lot about that challenge to open the season, how that drove them through the summer. What's the difference, I guess, from last year and this year when you have a little bit lighter opening?
Well, I still think that the approach is the same. The need to gain speed, to prepare to play against our very best opponents has to happen. I think the ability for the quarterback to the tool is going to be a key piece to the season. I think he's doing everything that he needs to do, but that has to happen. And then, not unlike a lot of teams, we're very talented in my opinion, but in a number of spots, we have to grow the tour and answer some questions. And as long as we do that and we rise up on that Saturday that we play, I like our team.
Can you talk about the maturation process that Zach's gone through so this team piece for the year?
Again, it's almost it's time because he's now elevated to the starting position. He always maintained a very consistent approch as a backup. But when you're the backup, you don't get the snaps. When you're the backup, you're not going to play. When you're the backup, you know it, and the team knows it. A little bit more lighthearted, a little bit less attention to detail. It's just a fundamental. And but he is now the starter. There's a little bit quicker step. Again, a greater view of the offense, wanting to be best. And I think he's applying some hard work, some effort, and I think his team sees it. He wants to lead. He talks about leadership. As long as he does it every day, I think we'll get better quarterback play.
Coach, what do you think about the new the 14 playoff?
I think it's exciting. I want to see it. It's important that you get the best 4 teams that you can in, and there will always be that team on the perimeter now. It's the Fed, the Sexton, should they or shouldn't they, and eventually, down the road somewhere there'll be an expansion to that number. But if it creates greater participation, if it creates greater interest, I think that's good. Key piece, get the 4 best in there.
Should those 4 be conference champions?
Well, I think naturally, year in and year out, I think most of the time, they will all be conference champions. I think on a rare occasion, there'll be that perimeter great team that deserves to be in, and I think it should be allowed. I think it would be a mistake if just because a guy finishes second in this conference, that it's the best team or one of the best teams in the country, you better include him in the tournament.
The only reason I ask that question is I don't want the football #1 ranking be like basketball, where the conference champions don't always make it to the championship game.
Yeah, it's tough for me to compare the two, considering one is a long tournament at the end, and that doesn't bother me a lick. I figure that in basketball, not that I need to talk about basketball right now, at the back end, you better be deep enough, because the number of games that they play in the back end, and that final game is almost a game of attrition. For us, I just want to make sure that the best teams can play, and it could be a difficult task to limit a team from a major conference based on the fact that a second finish at another major conference is ranked higher than, and those 4 make the playoffs. So, be interesting.
Do you trust that a committee will get it right, and the BCS's formula has done a real good job of getting it right?
I trust that a committee with great scrutiny applied will get it right, without question. I mean, the interest that the country's shown in the need for a quality format is just what was necessary, and I think that people that will be asked to consider the college football and to put the best 4 teams in place, I think they'll be diligent, they'll work at it, I think they'll have integrity, or they won't be on the committee, and if they don't have those things, they won't be on the committee